It's rare these days for a superhero film to leave you with a genuine sense of hope and joy, and that is exactly what Superman does. It leaves you with hope for the future and joy at what you got to experience. It's not just a solid win for DC, I think this is a shot of adrenaline into the heart of a genre that some people feel is dying. I grew up as a fan of both Marvel and DC. I have to say Marvel's recent output has felt stale, corporate, synthetic, and oftentimes disingenuous. James Gunn Guardians of the Galaxy movies had was identity, they had strong characterization, they had a unique visual aesthetic, and they had life, they had heart behind them. That is what James Gunn has brought to DC. This movie feels like a big bang propelling this universe into existence. Something that needs to be talked about is how perfect the castings here are. These characters feel like they were plucked from the pages of comic books, and the entire world has that exact feel as well. I've said time and time again, superhero films these days often have a villain problem. There are not memorable villains you can hold on to. Oftentimes the great villains throughout history have mirrored the problems or villains of real life in that moment. Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor is every bit the egotistical technocrat that is currently plaguing the world in a variety of ways. A man who views science and technology as a means to an end, and he views people as tools with which to build his empire. In Superman, he sees everything that he is not. He sees someone who is truly loved, who is truly good, who is not feared, and that drives him insane. The core of this movie is this dynamic between Lex and Superman, and diving into their differences is where you find the meat of this story. This is a story that takes an approach that is so ballsy, dare I say based, I could not quite believe what they were actually doing. I'm not going to spoil exactly what I'm talking about, I'll talk about it more later on, but there's a direct parallel to real world events that will drop your jaw. Because this is a movie that's willing to ask you, what would Superman be doing in the world today? The great thing about this film is it has a deep love and respect for journalism, and it acknowledges the importance of journalism in tackling the issues of the world. This is embodied obviously through Rachel Brosnahan's Lois Lane. She was perfect for this casting, just like David Corenswet was perfect for Superman. In my eyes, he is the character. Their dynamic in this film is undeniable. They have actual tangible chemistry. You feel like they are actually in. It seems like there's actual physical attraction. They're willing to show a little bit of passion. It is not a sterile romance, which I'm so tired of seeing. Not just mindlessly in love, there is push and pull here. They have varying outlooks on the world, and they have real disagreements. A movie that's keenly aware of the effect of the press, of media, of entertainment, how these things shape our world, how they can do great good or also cause a great deal of harm and make situations far worse. And the movie has an awareness of how individuals like Lex Luthor try to control the narrative down to the very word. They are very fragile in regards to their egos. They do not tolerate people that simply dislike them. Lex portrays a great deal of power and wealth and strength, but underneath he is ready to crack at any moment. And while this movie is overall light in tone, he is willing to get incredibly dark in moments, and those moments are incredibly effective for hitting on the emotional beats of this film. I think every single supporting character here is used basically to a perfect amount, including Crypto. Crypto is not overused to the point where it's corny, but he is vital to the story when it matters. But also playing a large role here are Eddie Gathegi's Mr. Terrific, Isabella Merced's Kendra Saunders, aka Hawkgirl, Nathan Fillion's Lantern, who is Guy Gardner. He is absolutely hilarious in this film. Feeling there's a little bit of conflict between Guy and Superman. Guy Gardner has a massive attitude and ego, as he should. Hawkgirl is honestly absolutely terrifying. Really enjoyed her combat sequences here. Of the three, I think Mr. Terrific gets the largest opportunity to shine. He is most integral to the plot, and his sequences are wonderful, whether they be action or more involved in technology and kind of using his brain to work around situations. These heroes exist in a world where everything feels corporatized. They themselves are sponsored by a corporate entity, generally on the right side of things, and they are perfectly woven into this story in a complementary way. What this movie has to say is this is a very human Superman. This is someone that cares about humanity, cares about every living thing on Earth, and that shines through his character at all times. Empathy, that humanity is the defining characteristic of this take on Superman, which contrasts him perfectly from Lex Luthor, who really just is ice cold, only cares about himself. At a concern, he might be a little bit too campy, a little bit too corny. I think it was a perfect balance of being able to take him seriously as someone who takes himself seriously, but also being kind of fun and playful. It wasn't too much. The action, as you can expect from James Gunn, is breathtaking. The movie is vibrant, it's colorful, it is beautiful to look at in every single frame. There's a bit of a theatricality to this film. Everything feels a little bit like theater, which makes sense with Corenswet coming from a theater background, coming from my city of Philadelphia. Shout out to Bryn Mawr. Love the look of the costume, love the look of David in general. People said he was too small for this. The dude is like 230 fucking pounds in this movie. He's massive. All in all, absolutely love this. Think there are slight pacing problems. Think there's occasional clunkiness. As it is kicking off a universe, you need a good bit of exposition. That can be expected, but it's balanced really nicely with visual storytelling, with great character dynamics, etc. A movie that asks you to feel, to care, to laugh. It's a beautiful thing. It's a very human film. I can't get enough of it, and I think you're all gonna love it.